Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So I have a dream that I would love to share with you. So in this dream, me and my cousins were going on a road trip, and we were driving two separate cars. So they were in one car and I was in another. Um, and we stopped to get some gas, and I did not fill up my car in the dream. So when they parked to get some gas, I parked beside them. So I decided to go into the gas station and get some snacks for the trip. When I got in, and I am so sorry, I keep saying and I'm really trying to work on that, and it's hard. It's really hard. So just bear with me. So when I got in, I was looking for some snacks, and I ended up going to a bag of gummy worms. And I remember the color of the gummy worm really stood out to me throughout, the whole dream. And even when I woke up, that's all I could think about was the color of the gummy worm. So I was like, okay, this means something. So the color of the gummy worm um, was blue and white. So then I walked around some more and I decided that I wanted some water to take with me. So I ended up getting a bottle of Aquafina water, and that stood out to me too. I remembered exactly, and I had to write down everything. Aquafina water. So when checking out, I was waiting in line. A lady in front of me was checking out, and she was playing some lottery. So she had to leave her spot and go to another part of the store to play her slips, and I was waiting, and I was waiting patiently, and then all of a sudden a man came from behind the counter and he said, "I can take you right here." I don't play lottery in real life, but in the dream I had a lottery slip, and he told me I can play it there, and he was just like, I'll just do everything right here, you don't have to go anywhere. So I was like, okay, cool. So then, oh, and he was very kind. He was just a very nice man in the dream. So when it got ready for me to leave the store, I noticed my cousins was waiting for me in the, um, they had parked. So they were waiting for me in my car, and they moved their car. So when we got, when they got gas, they pulled up right next to the pump, and then I pulled up beside them like this. So when I came out, my car was still like this, but they had turned their car around, and they got in my car. So apparently I was going to drive their car and they were going to drive my car. And let's see, make sure I got everything. So after that, we just talked for a bit, and then we got in the car and pulled off. And the way that they had their car parked for me, I was just able to crank up and go. I just knew in the dream that this was the way out. So I was just able to crank up and just go. They had to do a slight turnaround and everything to follow me, but I was just able to crank up and go. So when I was asking God for the meaning, and I really just want to pray about it, because I felt like it was some things that I had to get the meaning of, like the colors and Aquafina, like what was he trying to say through the Aquafina water bottle? And this is what he revealed to me. So I decided to go into the store rather than get gas. So of course gas is more important than snacks. If we're talking about, if we're being realistic, we need gas to get where we're going. In the dream, I decided to get snacks. I thought snacks were more important in the dream. So the store represented the presence of God. Um, let's see. So when I got the gummy worms, they were blue and white. The color blue represents the Holy Spirit, and white represents purity. So, and then also, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, I had a head covering when I entered the store. I didn't have it when I was outside the store. I just had it when I was in the store. I just, all of a sudden, I just, put on I just ended up having on a head covering. I don't really remember, like, exactly putting, like how I put it on. I just know that I had a head covering on in the store, kind of like this. So that represents just his covering, his protection. So when I went to go get the water, it was an Aquafina water bottle. So I looked up. I was like, what does Aquafina mean? And when I was looking it up, this is what I got. And it said Aquafina water goes through a rigorous purification process. So in the dream, I picked this up. I picked up this water because I knew I was going to need it, as well as the gummy worms that represented the Holy Spirit and purity. So while in the presence of God, I was being purified. So I didn't have to wait too long. The man opened up the register for me. This represented divine favor. So I was able to do everything that I need to do at that one spot while checking out. And let's see. When leaving the store, I didn't know that we were switching cars. So I was now in the car with fresh gas. I was filled up. I don't know what they did because I did not fill up that car. I was more concerned about going into the store and getting things that I wanted or that I needed while they were filling up. So this represents when I decided to go into the store, I knew that the presence of God is more important than what I need to be doing in the world. So getting gas, worrying about the gas and how we're going to do things, that's worldly things. Worrying about how we're going to do things in the natural. I was more concerned about my the spiritual side. So I went to go get the presence. I want to be in the presence of God. I wanted the Holy Spirit. I was in the presence of God while they were outside the store trying to do things for themselves, trying to fill up the tank. So when I left, when it was time to go, we ended up switching cars. I didn't fill up my tank. I don't know what they did. I was now in the car that had fresh gas, so all that was already taken care of for me. And the fact that it was even turned another way, so I could just pull out and go, like I was set. I didn't have to do anything. And I must have been in there for a while because they said they were waiting for a while. So I spent that time with God. I was in the presence of God, and it didn't even feel like a long time to me. So I was just in awe of God, just in his presence, not pressed for time or anything. And when I got out, when I left out the store, everything was already set up for me where I could just get in the car, crank up, and go. They had to do like a slight U-turn, whatever you call it, just to follow me, but everything was good for me. And I don't know, they probably had to stop on the way because, like I said, I didn't fill up that car. I wasn't worried about that. I just wanted to go in that store. So making sure I got everything. So yeah, that's basically the dream. That is basically the dream. Choose to focus on God. Really just put him first, because when you do and you choose and you decide that being in the presence of God is more important than anything else, and my relationship with you matters more than my relationship with my boyfriend or my best friend, who I put you first. Everything else is already handled. We don't even have to worry about all that stuff. I was not concerned about that in the dream. I wasn't in the dream like, oh man, I gotta fill up. I forgot. No, I just went and I got what I needed. While in the presence of God, I encountered the Holy Spirit. I had him. I went through a purification process, and I was not pressed for time. You really just have to decide to spend time with God. Be intentional about spending time with him. So I pray that this video really encourages you to really just get in the presence of God and spend as much time with him as you can. Don't try to rush things. Just go by his timing. Let him take control of everything. And you don't have to worry about anything. He has everything under control. So stop worrying and just focus on his presence, because he will take care of you. no doubt about it. He is going to take care of you. He knows your needs. So expect him to meet them. So that's all that I have for you. I pray that this really just encouraged you and uplifted you. And I will see you in the next video, Lord willing.